story is created by Rajeev Vashista for the Freedom for Eternity channel. It is the story of two friends, Peter and Anand, who are deeply religious and sincerely concerned about their spiritual progress. Both of them follow the teachings of their respective religions with dedication. They perform their rituals, attend prayers regularly, and try their best to live according to the instructions given by their faith. Like many of us, they believe that by faithfully performing these religious practices, they will gradually move forward on their spiritual journey. But in the midst of all these rituals and practices, they unknowingly overlook a very basic and essential question. Are they actually becoming kinder? Are they becoming calmer? Or are they simply performing their religious duties according to established dogmas, hoping that these actions alone will lead them to enlightenment, without ever looking deeply at what truly exists within their own minds and hearts? This is the story of Peter and Anand. But in many ways, it is also the story of all of us. We belong to different religions. We perform prayers, rituals, and practices. And often we assume that these actions alone will bring us closer to God. But is that really enough? Let us begin with part 1 of their journey and see how Peter and Anand are truly progressing on their spiritual path. Progress on spiritual journey. Story of Peter and Anand. Part 1: Inner Evil versus Our Spiritual Journey. Peter and Anand were two close friends in their mid-30s. They had known each other for almost 15 years. Though they belonged to different religious traditions, they shared a deep curiosity about spirituality. Both of them believed that truth could not belong to only one religion. Peter was a devoted Christian. Anand was a practicing Hindu. Yet, strangely, their friendship had grown stronger because of their differences. They often discussed spirituality over tea after work. Truth must be universal, Peter would say. And God must be beyond all religions, Anand would reply. They respected each other's faith deeply. Neither of them had any discomfort learning from different traditions. But there was one question that haunted both of them again and again. Were they actually progressing on their spiritual journey? Every day they followed their rituals with discipline. Peter never missed the morning prayer at the church. He attended gatherings, read the Bible, and volunteered whenever possible. Anand too had a disciplined routine. He woke up before sunrise, bathed, went to the temple for the early morning arti, and chanted mantras regularly. On the outside, both appeared like deeply religious men. But inside, both felt something was missing. They felt restless. Why am I still so disturbed inside? Anand once asked. Peter nodded slowly. If spirituality is working, shouldn't we become calmer? Neither of them had an answer. And soon, life began to test them. One weekday morning, Anand was riding his bike to the office. Traffic was heavy as usual. People were rushing, horns were blaring, and the city was already impatient. On the way he noticed a small street vendor selling fruits and vegetables. Anand stopped his bike. He thought he would buy some fruits for home. The vendor looked tired. Perhaps he had been sitting there since early morning. Bhaiya, what's the price of these apples? Anand asked. The vendor quoted the price. Anand frowned. The price sounded too high. He knew the market rates. At least, that's what he believed. You're cheating people, Anand snapped. The vendor immediately became defensive. I'm not cheating anyone. If you want to buy, buy. Otherwise leave. The tone irritated Anand even more. Within seconds the conversation turned into an argument. Voices grew louder. Accusations flew in both directions. Passers-by began to gather. The situation became so heated that both men almost moved forward as if ready to hit each other. Finally, a few people intervened and separated them. Leave it, brother, someone said. Anand left, but the anger did not leave him. As he rode his bike, his entire body was trembling. His mind kept replaying the argument again and again. He insulted me. How dare he speak like that? He must be cheating everyone. The more he thought, the more his anger grew. By the time he reached the office parking area, his mood was completely poisoned. While parking his bike, he kicked the stand aggressively. The stand snapped. The bike tilted. For a moment Anand simply stood there, staring at it. And suddenly his eyes filled with tears. Something inside him had collapsed. He sat on a bench nearby. His mind had turned dark and noisy. Negative thoughts flooded him. To calm himself, Anand started chanting mantras softly. But the anger refused to dissolve. The chants felt mechanical. The mind continued screaming inside. That night Anand couldn't eat dinner. He lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. He felt exhausted, confused, and deeply disturbed. How can I lose control like this? After so many years of prayer, why am I still like this? The whole night he remained awake, crying silently. A few days later, Peter experienced something similar. One morning after prayer, the church announced a special weekend service. Peter was excited. He imagined himself serving people, helping distribute food, meeting the congregation, doing something meaningful. For the next few days he kept thinking about it. On Sunday he arrived early at the church. He greeted everyone warmly. Then one of the volunteers approached him. "Peter, we need help outside." Peter nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, of course." But the next instruction surprised him. "We need you to collect the garbage around the church compound." For a moment Peter felt a slight discomfort. He had imagined something else. Serving food, welcoming people, maybe helping the elderly. Not picking garbage. But he didn't argue. He silently picked up the trash bag and started collecting waste. At first, he tried to stay calm. But soon his mind began to rebel. People were throwing plastic plates everywhere. Food leftovers were scattered around. Some had not even bothered to walk a few steps to the dustbin. Peter kept cleaning, but irritation kept growing inside. Why are people so careless? Is this how they respect a sacred place? His mind kept complaining. Within minutes he felt mentally exhausted. Then a small boy, about 7 years old, walked toward him. The child pointed toward some garbage near his seat. "Uncle, please take this also." Something snapped inside Peter. His mind exploded. He shouted harshly at the boy. "Do I look like your servant?" The child froze. People nearby turned around. Peter himself was shocked by his own voice. But it felt as if something inside him had taken control. Like an invisible force had cornered him inside his own body. Anger kept pouring out. The church priest, Padre, came quickly. He tried to calm Peter down. But Peter was not himself anymore. Instead of calming down, he started arguing with the Padre too. People were now staring at him with disappointment. Finally, the volunteers escorted him outside. Peter walked home in silence. When he reached home, his head was throbbing with pain. His chest felt heavy. His mind felt like it was about to explode. He sat on the floor, holding his head. What happened to me today? How could I shout at a child? The same painful question echoed inside him. If I am spiritual, why am I still losing control? And somewhere, deep inside both Peter and Anand, a silent realization was beginning to awaken. Maybe, their real spiritual battle had not even started yet. To be continued, Part 2, Discovering the Real Enemy Within. This story is created by Rajeev Vashista for the Freedom for Eternity channel. Though we have now reached the end of Part 1, it is quite easy to observe something important about both Peter and Anand. Both of them are sincerely involved in their respective religious activities. They attend prayers, follow rituals, and believe that their devotion will guide them on their spiritual journey. However, the incidents we witnessed tell us something deeper. Despite all their religious efforts, both Peter and Anand were unable to control their anger. In moments of emotional turmoil, they ended up using harsh and hurtful words toward others. This raises an important question. If someone is deeply religious but still unable to control anger, hatred, and reactions, are they really progressing on their spiritual journey? Or perhaps their journey has only just begun? We will explore this question further in the next part of the story. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story meaningful, please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with others. And stay connected with Freedom for Eternity for the next part of Peter and Anand's spiritual journey.